banana slam jam.
Hey guys, this first video is going to be helping you set up your Hotkeys settings and controls such that you can have an optimal experience playing Dota. It's going to be talking about the important settings that start you off, making sure that you have optimal settings and so you don't create bad habits that you'll have to fix later. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first things first, let's go to the top bar and go to the settings, which is right up here. You're going to now select options. And here I'm going to tell you exactly what to enable. You have a bunch of different options, and I'm going to show you the ones that really matter. So while you're listening to me talk here, I think it's really important that you just enable all the settings I have. These little numbers down here, they're settings that I've come to, but you may come to change those later. Really important settings that I want to make sure you have checked are these 6 up here. I'll explain those more in depth as we proceed to teach you different mechanics throughout the course of these videos. So go ahead and copy the exact settings that I have here. Make sure you now go to advanced options, and I also want you to copy these options. I assure you guys, for each time in my videos that you will be using these hotkeys, I'll show you what they do such that you will not be confused in the future if you ever lose track of your hotkeys or you wonder why yours works different than your friends or somebody else that you're watching. So once you finish copying there, let's now go to the Hotkeys tab, go down to Advanced Hotkeys, and I now need you to enable Advanced Quickcast and Autocast settings. This is really big, and make sure these are also checked the same way as mine. So what this does is that then I need you to click Unit-Specific Hotkeys. This button will show up, and this will allow you to change the hotkeys for each hero. You may not be using that at this current moment, but it'll give you the option in the future, and I think it's really important that you can learn to customize whatever hero you're playing if you so choose. So there's a ton of hotkeys in Dota, so to prevent it from being overwhelming, I highly encourage you to just focus on the idea of what I'm going for, and more so making sure that you have each thing I ask you to hotkey, hotkeyed, and you're allowed to totally select whatever you want. So to change your hotkeys, you simply select the box that you want it hotkeyed and just do Q, W, E, D, R. So a setting that I believe is very important to use is Quickcast. So I take all the hotkeys I normally have here and I put all the heroes on Quickcast by default. In the future, we'll talk about optimizing Quickcast and when to use or not use Quickcast. But secondly, I've changed all of my hotkeys for my select hero and courier. You're welcome to leave those as is if you want, but you're also welcome to copy me. I think select hero on 1, select courier on 2 is really important. And for purchase quick buy, which is another very important hotkey, I have mouse wheel down. For purchase sticky, which is on your advanced hotkeys, I have mouse wheel up. So one thing I want to bring to your attention is the use of Alt. So Alt is a key on the keyboard that if you use it, it basically allows you to double bind every key. So there's certain hotkeys in Dota where you could use R to do one thing, and if you push Alt then R, it does something completely different. So eventually, since there's so many hotkeys in Dota, you're going to run out of space. So I highly encourage you to get used to using Alt. If you feel like you don't want to use Alt, you can turn your Alt into something else. I personally grew up never using Alt, so it was really awkward to put my thumb or any other finger on Alt. So I chose to modify my Alt to F. So whenever you see one of my hotkeys that says Alt plus A, Alt plus S, that's actually just F plus whatever key. So you can do that for yourself to literally any button on the keyboard. All you have to do to change your hotkeys is select it and push the hotkey that you want. Another hotkey that I think is really important is opening your shop. I have Alt plus D, but I think you need to, whatever this hotkey is something that you need to be prepared to use a lot. That one I believe is very important. Aside from those hotkeys, you'll eventually learn on your own which hotkeys you think are important, but these are the number 1 important ones for me. Lastly, I do believe console should be hotkeyed. Make sure that's the case. And you also have to enable console, which was done in the options, just to make sure that you understand that you already did that. That's one of the settings I had you copy. Lastly, I think that at least 3 or 4 of your items should be on normal, which is done by having it on cast, and 3 of them should be on quick cast. So for me, I have 2 of them on quick cast, and I have 4 of them on normal cast. Don't worry about the Z right here. So I think it's nice to either have 2 or 3 of each. So if you want to go ahead and swap half of them here and half of them here, I think that's really good. Make sure you have teleport hotkeyed to whatever you so choose. You'll learn what teleports are later. And then there's one more item hotkey that you can just make sure it's hotkeyed. A lot of these hotkeys, as long as they exist for you, it isn't something specific, you're welcome to copy mine exactly, but just know I consider hotkeys to be a fingerprint type thing where each individual has their own personal preferences. And other than having some optimal settings and making sure certain things are hotkeyed, I don't think any specific set of hotkeys is better than another. So now that we've got all of your hotkeys set up, you will be set up to do all of my tutorials that I have in my future videos on this course.